back to the Urban Suburban Garden. In today's episode, we're going to take a look at the garden. Now, we just looked at the garden a couple days ago, and around the harvest video for the corn. But there's a few things that I've made, a few changes that I've made to the garden since that video. One is the shade cloth here. The last video you seen the shade cloth, it was kind of slanted down from here down to that side of the fence. But and I had to stoop down to get in there. Well, I took a couple extra poles that I had around that I wasn't using, and I raised it up just high enough for me to walk through. That's one change. Up at the other garden, I'm gonna show you that in a minute. We're gonna go up there on the garden too. I added a shade cloth up there, and I'm gonna tell you why I did that and the difference that is made since I put it up there. We're gonna look at that also. And then also, it's more, I have questions for you, the other gardeners out there, because I've had a few things happen here in the garden that, and this is like the first time I'm growing a few of these things. So certain things are happening that I can use a little help from you, the other gardeners out there. So I'm gonna take you off the tripod, and I'm gonna take you in this garden first, because it is a couple things in here that we could talk about that you can give me a little insight on. So next season, or later on in this season, when I grow my fall crops, some of this stuff here I'm gonna try to run back. I can run them back and not make the same mistakes. So let me get you off the tripod so you can get a closer look at what I'm talking about. And I'm gonna start you right over here. This zucchini plant that was sitting out here. I just wanted you to see how well she's doing. It's amazing how much water and a little fertilizer would do for a plant. And she's off and running now. And she's not under the shade cloth, because the zucchinis and the squash family plants, they can really take the sun, especially, well, I'm gonna call it my area, the sun in my area, and this location. This particular plant takes it pretty well, because the other ones up top, I'm gonna show you those, and then right next to these here, how the sun kind of beat those up. But the next plant over here, just a marigold I threw down in there. So didn't fighting coming up, but it hasn't bloomed anything yet, but it's trying. But I do see blooms starting to develop on it right down there in the center. Right over in the back, we have the husky cherry red tomatoes. And you see the tomatoes starting to develop on that. And right above her, and it's amazing because the plant didn't get big at all. It just stopped growing right there and just started developing. So as long as it gives me something, that's cool. Then right above it was the so-called baby squash. I wish I could find the tag that it came with. A buddy of mine said that those are small zucchini, baby zucchini. Other buddy said they pumpkins. But I have harvested one of them and opened it up, and the insides of it didn't look that appetizing to me. So I'm gonna have to figure out what to do with these, because I have quite a few of them growing. You see those there, right above it is there, and the ones in there, and then that one right there probably had to come down because it's done faded to another color. There's quite a few other ones that's growing around in here of that variety, and that was just something me and my wife had grabbed when we was up there. We saw it and said, oh, let's try this. But I should have did a little bit more research on that before I started growing it, because I wasn't expecting it to vine the way it did. And it kind of took off, ran all up there, all across through this here. This is my carrot section, carrot/tomato section now. And kind of ran all the way down. We got one is right down in there somewhere. Can't necessarily see it. But, yeah, so, oh, there it is, right down there on the ground. Yeah, one of them developed down there, and I'm sure there's one or two in here somewhere. But let me get over a little further over. The next section, excuse me, is my broccoli section. And this is the question I had for you. Now, I know the bugs ravaged my broccoli earlier in the season. But after I got the bug situation under control, as you can see, I got all the new foliage came up. Then the broccoli heads started developing. But they don't, I mean, they look healthy. They look good. Well, but when are you supposed to chop them down? And the plant is so huge. We got, you see how from the top of the soil all the way to here, about 20 inches. And I've seen other people grow broccoli and they just kind of stayed stout and just the broccoli head just got big. And I'm just wondering because of what happened and me growing them late in the season, the bug issue I went through, is that what caused this to look like that? Because the ones across the back road never really developed at all, as you can see. So if you got any answers for me, please drop them in the comment section. Definitely would know. Would love to know. Now, I know the squash that grew back there, I started those late, so I know that's another reason why they didn't do as well. So in the fall, I'm going to try to run my squash one more time. Because I only harvested me 2 of them so far. They were pretty good. And I see one is growing down there, if you can see. I can move the leaf. I'll probably catch it better from this angle. That one right there that's growing. That's the only other one I see. Now, it could be one down in here buried, but I just don't see it. I move leaves around, I don't see anything down there, so maybe that is the only one. So, didn't do very well with the squash. The zucchinis are definitely starting to do very well. But the squash and that broccoli, I kind of had so far this season. Let me slide down here. Now, my romaine lettuce, I figured they were done for the year, and I chopped them down, but I didn't chop these 2 completely down, and they have rejuvenated themselves, and they're growing again. So I'll be taking some of that possibly today and eating. I'll taste it and see how it tastes. I plan on running that back anyway. And tomato plants are just running rapid everywhere, all in my carrot section here. But it's okay. I look down in the carrot section and I see carrots are definitely growing. And the tops of these, the carrots, I've heard other growers say they use it for different stuff. I got some pretty damn big tops, so if I can use it for something, I'm going to figure it out and definitely use it. Right over here where my beets are. My beets are doing pretty damn good. I looked in here yesterday and was surprised that I had beets growing pretty good in there, as you can see. So that's one variety, and this is a Detroit Red up here. And these aren't doing as well as those in the back. Excuse my camera, but I did have some growing right in there. I did see that right down in there. So definitely going to get something out of those. And these are the cabbage heads that I left up here. I harvested 3 of them, and I left these 3 so they can get a little bigger. And they're definitely starting to develop. So, got 3 more coming. That one here is the biggest. Probably could come down. Over here, my string bean section, as you can see, they're running and running and running all the way up this, and now they start to attach themselves to the shade cloth up here. But I don't see any string beans starting to develop yet, but I'm sure here in the coming weeks, I see the flower heads. So here in the coming weeks, we'll have something off of these. Down in here is the purple string beans, and they have been producing for a while now. And as you can see, there's some there that can come up. Over here, another tomato plant that just decided to pop up, and I didn't do any training to her. So I'm gonna leave her alone, and I left her alone, and she's doing dynamite, really. And that's I believe is a cherry tomato. I realized so far anyway that the tomato plants that have come back, they've all been cherry tomatoes. Strawberry patch, and some strawberries in there developing. Over here with my sweet potato, only one of them vining, and that's that one there. The other 4 are like in standstill mode or something. I don't know what's going on with those. Got to figure that out. These are some white potatoes I just planted 2 days ago to get that going again for the season. And another tomato plant that just popped up out of a flower pot that I had in there, and I never cut it out. I see some flower heads developing there, and if you go down, I see there it is, cherry tomatoes. A couple of them all developing in there. So gonna definitely have a lot of cherry tomatoes. And over here in my pepper area, got a nice green pepper going there, as you can see. The plants are getting swallowed up in here by the cucumber vine that is just taking over this whole section. These are my hot peppers. You can see those little peppers, they're starting to develop. That's the cucumber vine is just running rapid everywhere. Just let her go. It's just everywhere. And I've taken quite a few cucumbers off here so far, and I know I need to get a few more off here. I've seen one. Now look at this. These are my tomato plants in here. These two sections here. Cucumber plant just swallowed it up. So bad location for my tomatoes and these cucumbers. Now granted, they're developing and they're growing, but it's just too much going on in this corner. And the good thing is the cucumber plant has grabbed onto the fence. The tomato plants were in tomato cages, and now they're all connected to one another, so they're supporting each other. So if nothing else, there's plenty of support. But it's hard to see my tomatoes in here now. And as you can see though, I do have definitely some growing. These are the, let's see, I don't see the tag anymore. I know one of them is the early girl and the other one was the beefsteaks. And I think this is the early girl on this side and the beefsteak is on this side. And this field I'm growing right back there. So yeah, I'm definitely getting growth. And I know I saw, yeah, there's a cucumber way back there. Look at that. Need to get back there and get that. So that's what this section is looking like today. Just growth, and more growth. And I guess I shouldn't complain about it because I'm definitely getting a lot. And this is on a tomato plant as soon as you walk in the door, and there's cherry tomatoes also. So let's take a look at the other garden. Now up here in this section, another tomato plant as soon as you walk in the door. And as you can see, it's tomatoes growing all in there. Need to take those out. So, and back here in the corner, the zucchini plant that would never take off has finally got traction and is off and running. She is starting to develop fast. So I'm gonna have to definitely move one of these two pots. I'll just pull this one down a little bit more, give it a little bit more room. So she's definitely gonna look like she's gonna turn into something now. Maybe. It is like July the 9th and she finally started growing. But I'm not gonna mess with her, just continuously water. And hopefully we get something. Now in this section here, this is where the corn was. I've harvested all the corn ears off of here. There's a few I left up in here, the little tiny ones. That there, I'm gonna take that out of there and feed it to the birds. There's a couple of them in here I left like that. But I'm about to cut these all down. And then once I cut these all down, I am going to do something I'm not sure if it's the smart thing to do, but I'm gonna give it a shot anyway. I am going to replant corn seeds directly into the soil here and try this run one more time since I was successful at this one. But the only difference I'm going to do this time over here is I noticed that it's quite a big section. So each one of these sections are 16 gallons, and I put one seed in each one of them so the plants can do their thing. But looking at it now and after having a run, I'm realizing that I possibly could have put 2 in each one of these sections. So that's what I'm gonna do this time. I'll put 2 in each one in each corner, the one back there, do the opposite corner so you're not sitting right next to each other all the way down, all 16 spots. And we're gonna do another run like that. And I know somebody's gonna say, well, why don't we put the pots side by side now? These pots are extremely heavy with all the soil in them. So this is where they're gonna be. And I'm going to do exactly what I did the last time. And I'm going to self-pollinate once they grow up like this. And then with them being so close to each other, they should pollinate each other, no problem. But just in case, I will definitely be self-pollinating these. I got another variety of corn. This here was the sweet corn, I think that's what it was called. I got some 3-colored corn or something like that I'm gonna do this time here. Just a different variety. So I think I got enough time still to get through. So yeah, I'll be cutting these all down today, and then next time y'all see this section here, it'll just be replanted with some corn. Now let's take a look in here. Go straight back. I'm gonna go run into another one of my tomato plants. Cherry tomatoes, as like the rest of them. Now, I'm not bothering it. I'm letting it do its thing. If it flops over, it flops over. And over here in the melon section, is this melons growing everywhere. Actually, it's one right in there that you see there. I think that's the honeydews. Some cantaloupes in here. There's quite a bit of everything going on. Now, on the yellow watermelon that I have grown, I only have the one big one that I have back around there. It's almost hard to get back there now. I got a sugar baby back there that needs to probably come out. Now it's covered up by the leaves. So I did water this morning. Nice healthy watering because it's going to be extremely hot today. So definitely trying to end. Also, as soon as I back out of here a little bit, I'm going to show you why I put this other shade cloth up here. Swing around here real quick. This is zucchinis. You've seen them in the previous videos, and they are starting to rock and roll now that we are. I don't know. It's maybe getting deeper into the summer. I don't know. They just all of a sudden starting to take off. You know, I top dressed them, and then I keep the same watering schedule pretty much. But they're grown, so I'm not going to complain about them. My wife made some zucchini bread the other day that was fantastic, and made quite a bit of it. And people at her job loved it. I loved it. And oh, that's split. So maybe that's going to die off. I'll show you that in a second. So yeah, she's going to do another round of them. Man, I got an eggplant that's growing there. Now, back over here, my tomato plant. See this one here? I just realized I watered it this morning and it split right there. So, if I could tie this back up together like that, possibly, and it'll heal itself. Or, I just got to take this L. So, and that L is a loss. So, I'm going to go get a strap and see if I can tie this up. I don't see if I got any Velcro up here. I'll go down to my shed. But all my potatoes are drooping over. So I expect here soon they'll all be dying off. And then we'll be harvesting all this red potato and the one white potato. That's it right there. Sorry for my camera work. I'm bent down under this shade cloth. These last two sections over here, my tomato plants, if you can see straight through there, you see that yellow spot back there? That's my yellow boy tomato. I finally got one. I was going to take it off last night, but I said, let me leave it on here for video purposes today. Yeah. It's the first time I ever grown a yellow tomato. And these here, in the front here, Cherokee purples, are doing dynamite, as you can see. Got a little blight there, but it's all good. These are doing great. There's more growing up here. So, should have a hell of a harvest off of these tomatoes, man. I got tomatoes everywhere. But let me back out so you can see the shade cloth action. Now with the shade cloth, last time you seen it, it was just this cloth and that one over there. But the following day, once I put it up, the sun, we got 90-degree days every day now. 90 and better today is going to be closer to 100. I noticed that the plant, so let me go back down into the melons. See how the leaves looking burnt? Now, I'm not sure what melon that is. It might be a honeydew, because the leaves that look more like that one are more the sugar baby and the yellow watermelon and sugar baby leaves are similar to that one. The cantaloupe, which is those leaves there, fatties. And then I think these are more like the honeydews. But anyway, I noticed that the leaves are getting burnt up. And I know I'm keeping these well fed and well watered. Everything else is doing very well. But I said, let me add one more shade cloth to cover. Let me back out. This last section here that was exposed. And up through this, I bought another one, threw this one up. And now the sun, it's like the trees right above my trees, bam, you see the sun right up there. So it's shining down on this garden constantly all day. So it gets way more than 10 hours of sunlight. So I think that was just a little bit much for these melons. So now that I put the shade cloth up, booyah. No curling of the leaves. Everything looks nice and healthy. The ones that are damaged is just damaged. There's no recovering from that. But that's all good. I noticed the shade cloth really does work. Now, if you look down at my other garden, right down there, shade cloth, everything in there is doing fantastic. So the shade cloth is definitely the trick for when you get a lot of sunlight in your area. Now let me back out a little bit more here so you can see back over here, this corn section again. Now the one thing I wouldn't want under the shade cloth is the corn. So that's why you see, back up, that's opened up like that. So that little L section back there, covering that stuff. And then I kept this exposed on this side over here. Full sunlight. And these tomato plants that popped up on their own seem to don't mind. So, yeah, that's what this garden looks like this week. If you got any comments for me, especially over here with this, what I just mentioned on the corn. I'm gonna harvest these, not harvest, but cut all these down today in the next couple minutes. I'm gonna cut all these down and I'm gonna just come back with my next corn. And like I said, I'm gonna put one in each corner, one there, one there, one there, one here. Or, try to do it so they don't run right into each other. Leaving them some space. The sections are pretty big. So if you have any comment or any history of growing corn, and can you replant corn in the same section in one season? I guess this would be called one season. Yeah, if you got any information on that, I definitely would appreciate you leaving me a comment down below. But I'm definitely going to give it a shot. What the hell? I figure no matter what, I'm going to get something out of it. So with all of them being nice and bunched in there, I wouldn't have as much as an issue when it comes to pollination because they're so close to one another. Once these tassels open up, the pollen just drop all over the place and I shouldn't miss anything. In addition to me, like I said, going in and self-pollinating myself. So if you got any comments, any information you can give me, I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. But that's all I have for you in this video. If you like what you saw, give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, share, and subscribe. And until the next one, keep growing.